What's going on, family? It's the Lucky Libra in the building, ready and willing. Thank you for tapping into another episode. Beautiful people, take your seats, take your seats. All right, welcome to another church service. All right, I appreciate all the likes, the shares, the subscrizzles. All right, tap into my Patreon if you'd like to dive deeper. Tap into my website if you'd like to connect on a one-on-one level with the Lucky Libra. All right, family, let's get right into it. Y'all see the title, man. Y'all see the title? Libra in that 11th house space. All right. Shout out to them Sagittarius risings. You may be a Scorpio rising. You may be a Capricorn rising. Okay, so I got that right. Yes. You may be a Scorpio rising just based off of intercepted houses and angles. And you may be a Capricorn rising. All right, based off intercepted houses and angles, okay? But for the most part, we're looking at an equal house system. All right, we got Sagittarius in that first house, okay? The Jupiterian ones, the ones full of exploration and experience, expression of their wisdom, their beliefs, creative ones, all right? The visionaries, the word of God, all right, the pastors, the preachers. All right, so shout out to y'all in the building. But we talking about that Libra in the 11th house placement. Now, what is the 11th house? We know 11th house is dealing with the outside realm, the public environment, all right? People you don't know, events out in the world, associates, business, groups, communities, all right? The public environment in general, networking spaces is a spiritually inclined house because we're dealing with the unknown. Because when you go out into the world and you just out at this event or some space you've never been in before, it's unknown. You don't know nobody there. It's an unknown space. But when you take that to more of a, intellectual, logical, metaphysical point of view, now we're dealing with the unknown entities and influences outside of this realm. So we get into extraterrestrial energy, spirituality in general, and different belief systems, astrology, all right? And then we put Libra here. So first things first, we need to know that Venus is the ruler of this house. You need to find Venus to understand what's really going on in your 11th house, to understand what energies you have access into bringing into the 11th house. Because whatever planet that rules your 11th house, when you find where that energy is at, now you understand the energetic themes that are going to be, consistent and persistent and active when it comes into you interacting into these spaces, communities, groups, the external realm, public environment. But it also lets you know whatever house you have that ruler in, it's going to let you know what area of life that you're able to bring your skill, experience, awareness, or understanding of that place into the external realm, okay? Now, the fact that it's Venus in general, things dealing with your value system is going to be something you're always going to be able to gain access into connecting out to others and gain a support system for, because Venus is already dealing with support. So the things that you value can get supported a lot in the 11th house, Sagittarius risings, Libra in the 11th house. But first, once again, you want to see what house Venus is in. So Venus is in the first house. When it comes into this person's personal values, when it comes into their sense of their appearance in general, people could be very fond of your appearance out in the world, and that could work opportunities on its own. You got Venus in the 5th house, things dealing with your value for your creative expression, energies dealing with appearance as well, because this is another, expression house on the stage, like influence, okay? The 5th house deals with appearance to a degree because we're dealing with creative artistic expression, but your value for those type of influences, your creative artistic expression, those things are favored when you connect them out into the world. The 11th house also deals with social media and technology, guys, and the internet. And various forms of technology and platforms that we use to communicate and interact. So when you got, anything dealing with your value system, Sagittarius rising, when you throw that shit in the internet, on social media, you can gather people up. You can gather people up in the same space in the name of a common value. And that's one of the themes here, having a value and being able to gather people on the same page in the name of that common value, whatever that may be. So that's why you want to see what house you got Venus in. You got Venus in the 6th house. Your value for something dealing with a sense of wellness, dealing with, how we can support our own sense of a healthy mental health, mental well-being, mental stability, when it comes into all forms of wellness that you value, when it comes into things that you feel like ideologies, mentalities, attitudes one should value in order to bring some form of structure and stability in their life through regiment. All these things people would love to support and feel and will appreciate you bringing these formats out into the world in some type of shape form. This form of management that you would personally appreciate. Okay. You got Venus in the 8th house, okay? Things dealing with your value, either for the occult, for methods that we can utilize to bring transformation into our life, positive transformation, the things that you value when it comes into what you're motivated about, right? So you may have a real deep connection, intimate connection with something that also it's a deep passion at the same time. So you could rather rally people up on the same space, in the name of that, in the name of a passion, in the name of something that in Venus, encouragement, upliftment. It could, if you're bringing something into the world and you're communicating it and relaying it and displaying something that is helping people to feel encouraged to build their self-esteem up through the state of transforming things in their life, that's huge right there. With Venus in the 8th house, ruling your 11th. So we got just a couple of examples right there. There's a couple of examples right there. So with Venus being the ruler of this house, Libra in the 11th house, Libra cardinal air ruled by Venus. We know this is a sign that's already dealing with relationships, already dealing with romance. Okay, so it's a trine in this house. It's a trine in this house. We already know that the 11th house is going to be a space that favors our personality because there's a sextile. Okay. So the things that it don't matter what placement we talking about in this series, in the 11th house series, signs through the 11th house series, when you bring your personality out into the world, when you make a conscious attempt to take your personality and put it in places where people don't know you, there's going to be a level of intrigue there by default. All right. Just having this positioning. And when you have Libra here, since Libra's already a trine, when it comes into this person being able, this is an air house, social house, but then you put Libra here, and Libra's a sign that's ruled by Venus, is a likable sign, it's damn near, it's a lovable sign, it's ruled by Venus, all right? So a lot of people like the sense of cooperation, the sense of compromise, the lighthearted energy of Libra, right? So that works opportunities in the 11th house a lot of the times to attract individuals that are real supportive, lighthearted, want to connect, relate, want to consider your thoughts when it comes into building processes and whatnot. It could create a lot of harmony in that area for you to just slide in there, Sagittarius rising, and allow you. And then to say you a Sagittarius rising, so your personality is already mad, positive, optimistic, upbeat, uplifting. You don't like heavy energy for the most part. So, that brings a nice flow into the 11th house with it already, once again, being a house that favors our personality and our personal interests and aspirations. But, it is a Venus ruled sign. So when we got Libra in the 11th house, romance amongst associates and associations, yes, that is likely. Sagittarius rising, can you please be able to decipher your associates and your intimate partners, please? Lord have mercy. Sometimes it ain't y'all fault. Sometimes it ain't y'all fault. Y'all just run into situations where romance and, people hit it on you at church, in this community, in this nonprofit, in this group effort, in this group environment. So you just gotta have discernment here. And discernment is big here because Libra and Sagittarius, man, their relationship could get into a lot of trouble sometimes. This could become a reckless pairing as far as Sagittarius wanting to experience and explore certain things, and Libra just being down for the count. Just being down to jump in adventure, relate with the Sagittarius, and then they just go off and do whatever. And it can have a lack of discernment, a lack of damn near discipline here, right? You would think Libra's the exalted sign, the Saturn exalted sign, but a lot of the times that exaltation kicks in for Libra when it's time to them benefit off of using something, all right? So Libras be looking for a lot of people, places, and things to use for stability, but, being able to use discipline, use restriction and boundaries on themselves, it take a while for Libra to learn how to do that on their own by a series of chapters in life experiencing that Saturn exaltation, restricting them. To the point, most likely after 30, around 30, they're like, all right, I got to learn how to apply this shit because Saturn energy is heavy in my life. So it got to stop working against me. And its Saturn energy is never working against you. But with all that being said, though, there has to be discernment here, because if you put Libra, which is such a friendly sign, in a house that's dealing with unknown people, Sagittarius rising, you can't feel like you can't try to hold so many obligations and say yes to everything going on with all the people that you meet out in the 11th house. Because you're going to have, being a Sagittarius rising, you're going to have a pretty social life. You have a pretty social life. And it could be too social. When I say too social to the point that when you got priorities and responsibilities and you're trying to establish a sense of routine and order in your life, your partnerships and obligations to these partnerships can throw you off, and that can start manifesting in your 11th house. It can start being certain associations, groups, you dividing your body, your time, and energy into too many different places, and then what happens? You might have to get in your ghost bag. You know, Sagittarius and Libra is good. Ghosting is be our middle name. Y'all know I'm gonna keep it real. It's the hood guru, y'all. It's the hood's pastor. Y'all know I'm gonna keep it funky. All right. So that's something you gotta be careful of here. This is something you gotta be so careful of here, Sagittarius risings. Okay. So as much as you can attract opportunities to have these relationships, being a part of groups and communities that uplift you, support you, value what you bring into the group, damn near want to exalt you at times, want to exalt the experience and value that you have in the group, you have to be aware of how many groups or partnerships you participate in, and also having discernment, not just clinging on to the ideologies of all the people around you. Once again, the air helps fire to travel. So it'll be a lot of people, you know, Sagittarius, you attract a lot of gas in your life. You attract a lot of gas. So sometimes you be gassing things up, exaggerating things. You attract people gassing you up to do things. Don't think the 11th house ain't one of the spaces where this be happening a lot of the time. All right. So we got that going on. Supportive associates can result in passiveness. That's another thing. I'm pretty much summing up everything I just said. So yeah, you have a lot of support here, but that doesn't mean you can't say no to certain things. Yeah, you got some friendly colleagues and co-workers and associates, and you got to be able to say no. I can't participate. I don't have the time to divide to give into that, invest into that, this, that, and the third. You got to be able to have those boundaries here. It's keyword Saturn, exaltation, and Libra, boundaries. Okay. Clients and colleagues want to build with you. All right. A lot of your clients and colleagues, you build tight bonds with them. You probably just want to come in, go to work, do what you do, but your personality is already high, and then that Venus sense of relatability is like, you could be a trainer here. You be Sagittarius rising, and you could actually have a bro that's a Sagittarius rising, that's a trainer. But you could be a trainer here, and that's probably why that placement came in my head subconsciously. But you could be a trainer and profession. Let's say your clients is finding you from the internet, or you're just going to work and you freelancing. So the clients that come in where you work at, like they divide them amongst the trainers that work there. So you don't really be knowing who you working with sometimes throughout the day, because you might be getting new clients in, this, that, and the third. Still somewhat of 11th house space, 10th, 11th house space. 10th, 11th house share so many similarities. But with that being said, you can manifest situations here where your clients, they really did not like the trainers they had before. They really couldn't stand the trainers they had before here. And then you the first trainer that you seem encouraging. You know how to work with them diligently. You know how to be on top of them to make sure that they're executing their game plan, and they're not just trying to get by, that they're excelling, that they're pushing themselves. But there's a sense of encouragement there. The Venus, there's a sense of harmony. You feel like the trainers, working with you, not working against your ass, or not trying to just put you down, or just that and the third. So you might have your clients may tell you things like, yo, man, you the best trainer ever. The other two trainers I was working with before you, they were demeaning. They didn't really have no sense of like, relatability. Their communication was off. So your clients start to create tight bonds with you here. You just want to make sure you navigate that, maturely, wisely. Okay. most likely does well. Yeah, I know I got my little notes in the background. So I already mentioned that y'all can gather a lot of people in the same space in the name of a common value, right? Whether it's an actual physical space, whether it's some type of group, whether it's some type of subscription, whether it's community, nonprofit, charitable type environment. But it's Libra here, and Sagittarius got that is mutable fire, so it's that spread of that warmth energy when it comes into their expression and enlightenment like energy. But then you got Libra in the 11th house, so you got that sense of diplomacy. You got airs, communication, but communicating to relate, in a harmonious way with others, not to step on people's toes. So these people can manifest being, could articulate themselves exceptionally well to the public. And that'll be another thing that creates opportunities there. Okay, people will just like your sense of cooperation, how you articulate things, this, that, and third. It's like you come into a job orientation and the trainer for your first week of this job orientation is mad upbeat. They're doing the whole presentation in front of like 50 people, but you're looking at them like, wow, they got a good personality up there. They look like a natural, this, that, and third. Might be a Sagittarius rising. Look like that. I mean, that's not the only placement. That's there's a bunch of placements that does well when it comes into articulating themselves, communicating themselves and displaying their experience in front of everybody and making it feel, bringing a sense of cooperation, making things light. That's a key word with this alignment here, making things light. All right, because this alignment will ghost your ass when you throw in too much heavy energy, especially when you're in the midst of working on a responsibility, business project together, this, that, and third, and then you somebody that be overly stressing about something y'all got to get done, this, that, and third. They will ghost your ass. They will ghost that project, that community, that group, that partnership. Especially with them attracting so much other opportunities to build with others, connect with others. So, but yeah, these people can articulate themselves exceptionally well in this space. And speaking about they will ghost you because they have so much other options here. Libra has a huge influence, with art, music. So like when it comes into these people dealing with anything, if they into anything from a creative perspective, it's easy to access the networking spaces and the different contacts. Let me use the word contacts, different people that are into these things, right? They'll be able to access that pretty well here. Brings a diplomatic vibe to associations. All right, that's another reason why you can be valued in these spaces, Sagittarius rising. You're mutable in the first house, so your personality see things from everybody else's perspective, and you're wise in that sense. But Libra in that 11th house will be able to have that sense of relatability with everybody. Once again, bring that balance, that equilibrium in some type of shape or form, from being able to, have a diplomatic influence with how they see the different parties and mentalities are taking place in the group or the association that they're a part of. So that's a gem to work in these spaces. All right. Can keep the self-esteem high. Can keep the self-esteem. We just said high is a key word, but when it comes into the influence of keeping things high and positive, optimistic influences, Venus, self-esteem, it could really do a boost to the self-esteem of a group, of an association. So Sagittarius rising can come into an association, a group. It could be like a business, a group. I'm just thinking like it's like the movie Temptations or something. I think in the beginning, from what I remember in the beginning of the movie, before David Ruffin came to the group, they was really trying to figure themselves out and whatnot. And then David came and it kind of just boosted things up, even though David's ego started getting in the way of things. But it's almost in this type of sense, Sagittarius come to the group and now it can uplift the outlook of the potential of this group, of this association, some type of shape or form. Real strong self-esteem boost here, okay? But yes, can excel with anything beauty related here and fashion. I don't know if y'all noticed Sagittarius are big with fashion, okay? For a while, I've been trying to study that, and I'm like, okay, the constellation of Sagittarius, okay, I get it, it's fire. Fire signs are already creative in general, and they like to influence things with appearance, okay? Then Jupiter, once Jupiter is into something, it's going to expand on that. So if there's a Sagittarius that's into fashion, it's going to probably start knowing about, it's probably going to start wanting to learn, especially with Sagittarius dealing with abroad, influences abroad. We want to start learning about how different fashion designers make different things and learning about different fashion design. Like Sagittarius will expand on that. But you know, you gotta look at this influence right here too, being a Sagittarius rising, Sagittarius sun. You have an influence of Libra in the 11th house. So Libra has a strong influence on fashion, and then you place that in the 11th house, they're gonna want to connect that form of aesthetic appearance into the world in some type of shape or form. All right, so that's gonna be big here, and they can excel with things dealing with fashion and beauty related influences out in the 11th house in some type of shape or form. All right, can get into run-ins with the law when you don't vet your friendships and associates properly. So Sagittarius rising, you know you're a charismatic communicator too, but you'll run into those people too. You got air in the Gemini, you got Aquarius in the 3rd, Libra in the 11th. You think you're not gonna walk into somebody that talk as good as you, better than you at times, way more savvy, charismatic as you, get you to participate into something. You're not doing your background check on this individual. This whole person is a scam artist. And now you get caught up in some type of scam with them, this, that, and the third, and run-ins with the law. You know Libra dealing with that law energy. Someone please call 911. Yeah, that's the song you're gonna be singing if you're not vetting your associates and partnerships as far as from a building business perspective in the 11th house. You know, you get into this group, nonprofit group, this, that, you find out niggas is stealing money, or you get into, like, I mean, it's all different type of crazy influences. That's why it's like, as much as a strong social presence is here, you can't just be out and about with anybody, okay? When it comes into contractual agreements, that's very serious here. So when we're talking about legal affairs, contractual agreements, understanding the rules and regulations within the people that you're dealing with, and how they abide rules, regulations, and honor them, those are things you don't play with Libra in that 11th house. So you don't get into nothing that you're not supposed to be getting into. Okay, we could prevent those type of issues here. Sagittarius, you know you like to experience and explore. Don't let that Libra 11th house be having you all over the place. Okay, and yep, okay, I did say this, but let me add this point on top of it. So I did say you can reel in a lot of contacts and whatnot based off the name of a common value. However, Sagittarius rising, if you're valuing negative things, you're gonna reel all of them niggas in too. If you valuing some negative bull jive, you gonna reel all of them negative influences in here too, and indulge in that. Sagittarius rising, you like to get high. You gonna find that crack pack. You gonna find that crack pack with Libra in the 11th house. Venus, yeah, y'all gonna overindulge and lose your mind. Yep. Trey Songz voice. Yep. All right. But for the most part, that's Sagittarius in the 11th house, man. All right. Shout out to that Libra in the 11th house placement. I said Sagittarius in the 11th house. Excuse me. Shout out to Libra in the 11th house. Sagittarius rises in the building. Okay. Y'all keep things nice, high, and light. Okay. Infectious personalities. And that Sagittarius energy, that sense of knowledge, wisdom, expression could have direct access into enlightening others and building so many fruitful partnerships, supportive partnerships, some, beneficial partnerships in some type of shape or form out there in that 11th house space with Libra there. All right, guys, I hope this brought some clarity into y'all life about this placement. I appreciate the likes, the shares, the subscribers. Tap into my Patreon if you like to dive deep. I've been doing a lot of synastry there as of lately, okay, especially throughout the month of February. Tap into my website if you'd like to connect on a one-on-one level with the lucky Libra Relationship Astro Master Class taking place in a week, guys. Go ahead and grab your seat. Until next time, family. Peace.